Within the next 5 years, we are going to be in that position and we are going to be fighting for our lives. Amazing things on this planet are saying, I'm not coming back. That's how pissed off they are. Like, what did I come to help in this situation? Why am I a healer? I don't feel like I have the platform to do my healing. But the mistake that we make is that how do you spiritually survive during this traumatic political climate? Let's take a look and break this down. It won't take long. So you got 5 minutes. If you've got 1 second, subscribe, like, at least give me a thumbs up and make a comment down there. There is so much going on in the last 5 years. We're talking about the pandemic, being locked down, separating from families and friends, a complete divide, being afraid for our own life and our own health, and then being afraid that we might be kicked out of a tribe. I was just talking to a friend yesterday who hadn't spoken to her tribe that she had for over 30 years in the past 5 years just because of this. And I have spoken to tons and tons of clients in regards as well. Your own medical choice is your medical choice. I'm never going to tell you what to do, how to do it, or when to do it. Your own political choice is your own political choice. The same. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, when to do it. But when we go down rabbit holes, and many of us who are awake or aware, we follow journalists and investigators, we follow non-mainstream news, we follow everything. And once you start opening up that Pandora's box, you can't get it closed. It's just this nonstop. And then you become somewhat of an expert on conspiracy, so to speak. You start to get this gut intuition that this isn't right. This doesn't seem accurate. This investigator, this doesn't resonate with me. I'm uncomfortable with this. And that is exactly where you want to be. You want to get to a point where you're not navigated by what's going on in your inner world and your outer world by what you're investigating or researching or reading or listening to what somebody else says. Listening to what somebody else says, that's your first mistake. Don't do that. If it's enough that makes you curious or you get angry or you're arguing with them, then you do your own research. Yes, that you have to do. You cannot contribute to an argument unless you have facts, and you cannot use philosophical approaches such as ones that is demeaning or putting somebody down, calling them stupid, saying they've got one brain cell, or that they don't know what they're talking about, or they're not Christian enough, or they're not this enough, right? That's not a legitimate argument. An argument is coming with your own personal research and facts. But that is sometimes way too painful to be able to manage. I don't want to go down all these rabbit holes. And I know when I got to go, stop. That's enough. I know this is happening in the world, but there's only so much that I can research because there's not a lot I can do with some of them. So how do you regain your own soul self and your own spiritual self in the midst of this chaos? I cannot tell you how many clients tell me I ain't coming back. Nope. And I'm talking to the most highly respected, spiritual, guided, some of the people I've interviewed that have done amazing things on this planet are saying, I'm not coming back. That's how pissed off they are. Like, what did I come to help in this situation? Why am I a healer? I don't feel like I have the platform to do my healing. But the mistake that we make is that we want to do this on a global grand scale because we live in a climate where everything is exposed and everyone is exposed. And there are more famous people than there have been 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 1,000,000 years ago. You could not gain the fame and the world recognition as you can now, negative recognition and positive. And so there is this desire, as we want the cherry on the top of this oh my gosh, on top of the sundae, or the icing on the cake. We want to be that healer and that famous person. I want to give you, if you're a healer, I'm going to do my next video on this. You're going to lose it all. If you really want to spiritually advance, you have to have nothing. You have to lose all of it. But I'll talk about that in a second. But we're going to talk about Gandhi, Jesus, Mother Teresa, Buddha. They all purposely went into no man's land. They didn't have a permanent place to live. They didn't have a permanent set, like maybe Buddha did later on in his life. But they traveled the world barefoot. They weren't rich. They were not wealthy. They were not famous because many of them, specifically Jesus, Gandhi, and Mother Teresa, but specifically and Gandhi, they were ostracized, abused, stoned, and many cases killed. And these are not, these are, we look at them as martyrs and we reverend them as somewhat prophets or even resemblance of God or gods because what they sacrificed for their own being and how many people they served, hundreds and thousands of people they served without wanting a penny, a dime, or fame at all. Who's in Edgar Cayce? He ended up dying poor. Some of the biggest inventors died poor as well, if not everything taken away from them, Nikola Tesla. So why in this day and age do we think we're going to be any different than they are? No, if you're here to spiritually advance, you're going to get knocked down, put down, you're going to feel alone, and it's hard, especially in this day and age when there's so many red apples. There's so many carrots dangling, and we want that, right? We want the pleasure and the suffering of being a healer and helping people all at the same time. So if you want to survive this, you can't sit on the fence. You have to decide, where am I? Am I a believer of making a difference and a change in this world? Maybe I'll be the one that shares the knowledge, shares the news, do my own research, give to charity. And I've given to charity to find out later that it was not a legitimate charity. I've done that. And I didn't say, oh, I'm never doing this again, right? We just got to keep working and working and working on it. Smiling at the cashier, knowing that the miserable person in front of you that's treating you like a piece of shit might have been sexually abused from the age of 5 to the age of 12, right? And you're wondering, why are they such an asshole? Maybe that's the only way they're surviving. You don't know. You have not walked in their shoes. You have no idea. Now, if you expose yourself to someone who's going to abuse you because they're mentally unstable due to trauma on a regular basis, that's on you, right? You choose to leave. You choose to stay and heal and help. You choose to do inner work, or you go down with the ship, which can happen with some people. So how do you keep your spiritual soul self? Meditation is definitely one of them. 20 minutes a day, at least. Research has shown, Dr. Huberman has done clinical research or has shared clinical research that 16 minutes, I don't know why that's a magic number, but 16 to 18 minutes of meditation a day is enough. Whether you do affirmation meditation, guided meditation, insight timer, you can look up HollyHall. I've got tons of meditations there, or anyone for that matter. It's an app you can find on your phone. Eating as clean, as healthy as you can. Having some kind of philosophy or belief system. And that might be just be good to others, even if they're crappy to me. It might be, I work in a restaurant and I'm going to give as much as I can. And if that person wants an extra glass of water after they've been miserable to me, or they want to make that extra change in their food, as complicated as it is, I'll do my best. Even if I've got 1,000 other people to serve, I'll do my best. And that's all I can do. And I will tell them I'll do my best. It doesn't matter how you serve others, but find a way to serve on a regular basis, whatever your job is. If you do those things, you can keep yourself spiritually on track. The most important one is if you find yourself making a comment or sharing a post that is in any way cutting up another religion, people, in the name of educating, in the name of religion, in the name of I believe in this political agenda and not that in a political agenda. If you're calling something evil or something perfect or the best or this is the way to go, don't do it. Don't do it because you will be alienating somebody. Somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get angry. And somebody's going to feel like you've taken a side and they're on the bad side. Right? At the end of the day, if we're in the middle of an earthquake and your neighbor comes and they have a car, you don't have a car, your car, your house got sucked into the earthquake, and your neighbor has a car and you don't like their political agenda, you don't like the fact that they got vaccinated or didn't get vaccinated, you've been fighting with them because of that they don't mow your side of the lawn, are you going to go like, no, dude, see ya. I'll just sink here in the earthquake because I don't want it. Are you going to do that? No, you're not going to do that. And I'm going to guarantee you guys, within the next 5 years, we are going to be in that position. And we are going to be fighting for our lives. And we will want our neighbors to work together. Because if we don't, we won't survive. And that's simple as that. Our politicians, our medical industry, our charities, our religion, our community, our culture, our belief system, the food that we eat, the gym that we go to, all of the selfies that we're taking is not going to make a difference when it comes to the point where we have to collectively work together. And that's going to happen within the next 5 years. I'm already seeing it happening now, except that we're still in a divide. We're still asking each other to be in one tribe or the other. And then find people that you can talk to and people that help you work it out, not people that side with you. Oh, yeah, those rotten bunch of blah, blah, blahs. I hear you. I think they're a bunch of idiots too. No, you want somebody that helps you walk yourself through it. If they've been through a painful experience due to this divide, you definitely are there for them. You support them. That's sad. I'm so sorry that you've been through that. And then you help them walk through it, to grow from it, to advance, to not hate people, to not be tainted by it, and not be in a place of fear because of it. Can you do that? It's not easy. Did I get this done in 5 minutes? I don't think so. I'll try and break it up. Thanks for listening, guys. Subscribe, comment. What do you do to spiritually survive these difficult times? I think a lot of people would like to hear that. Namaste.